In this video, we're going to be looking over this Asahi Pentax-M 35mm film camera equipped with the SMC Pentax-M 50mm f1.7 prime lens. And as I'm getting this camera ready for sale and I'm checking it over, I thought I would just video the process of looking this over. Not only just to show off this particular camera's condition, but also as an aid for people that maybe find one of these and want to know what they should look at. So let's get started. I have a pair of batteries here. They do not come with it, but they're just here for testing. And we're going to load them in the battery compartment, and the best key for that slot seems to be a nickel. So we'll just get that slot open. And then we will drop the batteries in, positive first, and then we'll put the cover back on. And then I always like to back this up until I hear the threads click to engage, just so there's no danger of cross-threading. There we go. Okay, now we know we can tighten this in and the threads are engaging properly. Okay. So this camera is pretty simple to use. It's an automatic. It's basically aperture priority. And I thought what I could do here is, let's see, what is the ASA set at? It's at, the ASA is set right here, and there it goes up to 1600 and all the way down to 12. I'm going to leave it at 12. And then I'm going to put this at f1.7 here, and with these lights here, and just see what it does. Pretty fast shutter speed. Now if I hold the camera here in the same orientation, but I shut off this main light that's putting a lot of light right into it, and then we try it, much slower shutter speed. And then if we shut off this last light and again hold it there, now it's much darker in the room, much longer shutter speed. Then one more check is then to increase the ISO here, much faster as I ran that up. I'm going to put that way back down slow again. Okay. Okay, that's back the way it was at the beginning with the lights off. Now they're both back on, and so now it should be very fast. Yes. Now if I just rotate the aperture ring all the way to f22, much longer. See that? So that's showing me that the electronics is all working here. I'm going to just set this here at f11, and then maybe we can watch in the lens there and watch those blades close. And we did. They're nice and quick. Then one other thing that I like to do is check the self timer. So we're going to cock that, and we'll just point that at us. And you just nudge that up a little bit and it starts. And we'll watch it complete its cycle. And it did. So that's good. Then I'm going to take the lens off, and let's just look at the lens for a moment here. Now the focus on this lens, nice and smooth. That's very nice. The aperture ring has nice clicks, and as we already kind of saw, if I run this down to f22 and work the little lever in the back, very quick, snappy blades. And if we open this all the way up to f1.7 and we look through there toward a bright LED flashlight, now there I see kind of a hazy look in there, and so that's not ideal. It may not show up well here. I mean, it's not horrible, and it wouldn't mean that the camera wouldn't take pictures. And it's not a heavy fungus, but there is definitely some stuff down in there. So just be aware of that. I'm going to set the lens aside and let's look at the camera here for a moment. We want to see that this aperture follower ring is sprung properly, and it is. And then we want to watch the mirror flip out of the way and the shutter work. Okay, that's good. Then we should go around the back here. Well, let's just put the lens back on just so we have that back in place and make sure that that engages properly. Twists right into place like that. To open this camera, we lift up on the film rewind crank. And so now we can see the shutter curtains here, and we're also going to watch the film transport over here, and we're going to see how that moves. That the shutter curtains went up and the film advanced and the shutter goes off. Let's try that again. Everything seems to be working nice and smooth. The other thing that you want to check here is when the camera is being at the end of the roll and you have to rewind the film, you push this little button on the bottom here. And what that does is that disengages this here, this sprocket wheel, so that it can go the other way so that you can wind the film back across. And then as soon as you run that advance again, the button pops out and it's ready to go. So that's working properly. Then let's go over here to the film door. One thing I always like to do is feel along these edges here, and these feel quite clean. Oftentimes you'll feel a lot of sticky residue here, which indicates that light seal material in these channels here is breaking down. But this one is really pretty good, and so to me that would indicate that the light seal material is probably in pretty good shape. This one, there isn't really much there either to feel. So okay, and then we'll just watch as the door closes. It snaps together properly. There's a nice film rewind crank, metal, and it flips down properly. I see one little dent right here, and I'm going to try and get the light just so that you can see that. You can see that just a little bit. I mean, it's not a functional problem, but it's definitely been bumped by something right there. Otherwise, cosmetically, the camera looks pretty good. It even has the often missing little cap over the port for a rapid film advance unit. So the camera itself looks pretty good. I'm going to take out those batteries because those are not included in the sale. And so we'll just take those out, and again I'll just carefully reinstall the battery door. There we go. And that goes in like that. The camera comes with a fitted case. Now these cases were often made of material that did not really withstand the test of time real well, and these cameras, I don't know, I think the ME, probably late 70s, and camera cases from that era are generally not very good. But this one, I mean, it's functional, but we can see that it has a lot of wear and issues with it. But it's got the little Asahi logo, and that's kind of neat. And it's got the Asahi Pentax on the front here. And then also we have the Asahi Pentax-M owner's manual. And it actually shows it with the very lens that's on this camera, the Pentax-M 50mm f1.7. And the manual is in pretty good shape. And it's used, but it's not abused. So, all in all, a fairly nice example of the Asahi Pentax-M 35mm film camera.